In the grief of the beloved one must become the beloved or set aside the grief altogether. I shall not surrender my soul for a single sorrow. What is one sorrow? 1,000 would not suffice. Enemies revel in joy aplenty. A friend is compassionate and empathetic, which is necessary. Companions are in sorrow from this journey. For this journey, a resolution is needed. Oh, to know that in the face of both enemies and friends, life should be lived twice, not just once. The lion of the forest is chained, the lion must roam free in the meadow. Fish flounder on dry sand, a spring or stream is essential. The intoxicated nightingale, drunk with love, needs a blooming garden, a lush meadow. The eye cannot shed tears of wisdom, a vision of clarity and trust is required. These children consume only flowers, a nursemaid, tender and kind, is essential. They cannot find the path to the water of life, a kidder, a seeker of water is needed. The heart regrets what is past. The heart must be as it was last year. In this city the sun is scarce. The shadow of a king is needed. The town is filled with worshippers of dung. The musk of the Tatar deer must spread its fragrance. None can distinguish musk from filth. Musk must reveal its essence. They seek fleeting wealth like naive children. A fortune without sorrow must be sought. When you die, your skills die too. Of these transient talents you should feel shame. Many seek worldly ventures, but only a seeker of the Creator is worthy. As death chases us, the night remains night. For us, this night must turn into day. Few breaths remain, infinite breaths are needed. The divine breath from Yemen must be scattered as a blessing upon creation. Kingdoms remain, but the kings perish. An everlasting realm is needed. Reason is chained, and whimsy reigns. Reason must regain its choice. Wisdom, like flies, swirls in sour milk. Wisdom must be awakened. From such foul and rotten milk the heart's nose must take caution. The stomach filled with milk, the ears with lies. It is time to flee this despair. Ears are shut, silence your lips. A jewel of wisdom must adorn the ear. In this Ghazal, Rumi discusses the human soul's journey toward divine union, contrasting the transient attachments of the material world with the eternal essence of God. Here are the key takeaways. The grief of the beloved symbolizes the deep yearning of the soul to return to its origin, God. Rumi emphasizes that to overcome this sorrow one must transform and become one with the beloved, God. Material attachments, wealth, status, relationships create sorrows that overwhelm the soul. These sorrows are transient and harmful, unlike the divine grief, which is purifying and leads to spiritual awakening. Rumi urges readers to let go of their egos and attachments, symbolized as the lion in chains or the fish floundering on dry land. The soul thrives when it connects to its trustworthy source, represented by the meadow, the spring, or the blooming garden. Spiritual growth requires a guide like Khidr, the mystical figure in Islamic tradition, to show the way to the water of life, or eternal truth. It also requires clarity, wisdom, and trust. Rumi highlights the ephemeral nature of worldly achievements and urges us to focus on the eternal. Life must not be wasted on trivial pursuits or temporary pleasures. The central role of inner space. Rumi emphasizes creating inner space or openness around every event in life. By not clinging to the mental and emotional reactions to life's circumstances, one can connect to the infinite essence of the divine. Returning to one's true essence. The poem calls for a return to the state of non-being or emptiness, a metaphor for humility and receptivity to divine light. This transformation brings the soul into harmony with God's infinite presence. Life or God says, "Your center belongs to me. Therefore, whatever you bring to your center that the mind shows is rejected by the truth of God. And it is said, no one can surpass my rights as your center belongs to me. No one can take these rights from me. So, you must empty the center so he can dwell there. But if you bring material things, you become unfaithful, and as I mentioned, You should not be faithless and then accuse God of being unfaithful. Isn't that correct? Unfaithfulness is the denial of the truth's rights. Hence, God rejects things and does not allow them to remain in your center. If they come to the center, He destroys them. Please pay attention to this. Situations become painful because you hold on to them in your center. No one has the right to surpass God in your center. Your spouse, child, money, house, or jewelry cannot remain there. If they enter, it is a mistake, and they will be harmed. Choosing the illusion of the mind self means you live in the past and future in virtual time. You have an egoic mind and you judge and resist. In this case, you live with pain, which we will soon see is a fantasy-based life entirely out of touch with reality. Many people live in this illusion of the mind and willingly turn the energy of life into obstacles, problems, enemies, and pain because they are unaware of the purpose of their existence in this world. A triangle was defined, the base of which is the perception of perfection. Such a person believes they are perfect. One side of the triangle represents pride, false honor, and the other represents pain. Two sly merchants full of charm and flirtation, a cause worse than the illusion of perfection cannot exist in your soul, O cunning one. Rumi, Masnavi, Book 1, verse 3214. The illusion of perfection is the state of the egoic mind that believes it is complete and expects others to be perfect. While turning life into problems and creating pain, this person falsely thinks they are flawless in their egoic mind and sees no need for change. For this reason, they do not listen to Rumi's guidance. This individual, represented by the triangle of the illusion of perfection, carries guilt, pain, and pride. You can admit that if you have been this way, you acknowledge yourself as guilty. Saying, "I am guilty," means you accept your pains and the ruin of your life as your fault. This way, God will not withhold the lesson from you. Say you are ignorant and don't know, ask for guidance and open space. This fairness, admitting ignorance and letting go of false pride, is far better than clinging to this false identity. God spreads His bounty like a carpet, that you may speak of it with joy and expansion. Rumi Masnavi, Book 1, verse 2670. This verse emphasizes that we do not have the right to contract or close off. We must always remain expansive. Remember, God's command for us in this and every moment is that we must open. God's essence is to expand. You are of the same essence, therefore your property is to expand. Contraction, or closing off, is temporary for you. Yes, the egoic mind contracts and claims to possess intelligence. However, its intelligence is like a spark, brief and fleeting. The flash of our intellect is for tears, so that non-being may cry in longing for being. Rumi, Masnavi, Book 4, verse 3321. The egoic mind is non-being. Its intellect must grieve in longing for the expansiveness that is being. This flash of intellect is like lightning which should quickly disappear. Another concept is, I don't know. You must also realize the importance of not knowing. There is another triangle. When the center becomes nothingness, its base is expanded. If you open the space, the following is, I don't know. Say like the angels, we have no knowledge, except what you have taught us. Rumi, Masnavi, Book 3, verse 1130. When we open space, we become angelic. Like the angels, we say, we have no knowledge except what you have taught us. When we admit our ignorance and let go of the importance of mental knowledge, we open space and ask for guidance. Opening space and letting go of mental reasoning allows God to act through be, and it is. You abandon the intellect of the egoic mind and let divine intelligence take center.
At this stage, the way of the heart is a powerful tool for releasing oneself from the illusion of the mind self and its attachments. The egoic mind, with its clinging to illusions, often creates barriers to spiritual connection and love. However, the way of the heart teaches us to bypass these barriers, connecting directly to the divine essence, offering a transformative journey. When the heart is awake, it speaks with the soul. The body becomes a house of peace and joy. Rumi Masnavi, Book 1, verse 2678. Heart, the spiritual center of a human being, the seat of divine love. Body, the physical vessel for spiritual manifestation. When the heart is truly awake, it moves beyond the delusions of the egoic mind and unites with the soul. In this state, the body ceases to be a prison of pain and becomes a place of serenity, a manifestation of divine love. This is the goal of the way of the heart, to transform the body into a sanctuary of peace through awakening the heart. When you open the door of the heart, divine light floods in, and you see the world as it truly is. Rumi Masnavi, Book 3, verse 1121. When the heart opens, the illusions of the mind self are dispelled. Divine light enters, illuminating reality as it is, free from attachments, judgments, and resistance. In this state, life is no longer a series of problems or pains, but a harmonious flow aligned with the divine will. The way of the heart consists of 3 essential keys that guide us toward awakening. Patience, or tani, which is the willingness to linger, to create space, and to let go of the rush and stress of the egoic mind. Surrender, or taslim, the act of letting go of control and trusting the divine intelligence to guide each moment. And gratitude, or shukr, acknowledging and appreciating the blessings in every situation, even in pain. Patience polishes the soul, surrender softens the heart, gratitude opens the door to the beloved. Rumi Divane Shams Ghazal 3251. When we integrate patience, surrender, and gratitude, the egoic mind loses grip, and the heart becomes life's compass. This is the essence of the spiritual journey, shifting from the mind self's illusions to the heart's truth. In Rumi's teachings, the concept of the beloved refers to the divine, the ultimate source of love and truth. The beloved is not just a mirror that reflects our inner state, but also a guiding force that leads us towards self-realization, providing a sense of guidance and support. The beloved is a mirror, revealing the soul's hidden treasures. Rumi Masnavi, Book 2, verse 1523. When we encounter the beloved, we are faced with our true selves. This process can be painful, as it exposes the attachments and illusions of the egoic mind. However, it is through this confrontation that we grow and awaken. The grief of the beloved purifies the heart, removing the dust of attachments and revealing the light within. Rumi Divan Shams Ghazal 2110. Grief, often seen as something to be avoided, is actually a powerful tool for transformation. The pain we experience in the presence of the beloved is the fire that burns away the impurities of the egoic mind, leaving only the light of the soul. Embracing this process empowers us to grow and transform. The final stage of the journey is the attainment of presence, the state of being fully immersed in the moment, free from the distractions of the past and future. Presence is the natural state of the awakened heart, where the mind self no longer holds sway. It is not a state to be achieved, but a realization of the infinite potential of the present moment, which is a treasure chest full of divine jewels. When we open ourselves to the present moment, we find everything we seek, as it is the gateway to the infinite within. The present moment is a treasure chest, full of divine jewels. Open it, and you will find everything you seek. Rumi Masnavi, Book 4, verse 2120. Presence is not something to be achieved, but something to be realized. It is always available to us, waiting for us to let go of the illusions that veil it. Lose yourself in the moment and find the infinite within. Rumi Divan Shams Ghazal 1498. Losing oneself in the moment means surrendering entirely to the flow of life and trusting in the wisdom of the divine. In this state, the boundaries between self and others dissolve, and we experience unity with all that is. The spiritual journey is a return to the source, a homecoming to the divine essence from which we emerged. This journey requires courage, patience, and love as we let go of the illusions of the mind self and embrace the truth of the heart. The end of the journey is the beginning. The circle returns to its center, and the seeker becomes the sought. Rumi Masnavi, Book 6, verse 4287. The way of the heart is the path to liberation, where we discover the treasure we sought was within us all along. Through patience, surrender, and gratitude, we awaken to the truth of our being and live in harmony with the divine.